Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries.
All right, everybody, welcome to episode 2 of the Go for 222 Fantasy Football Podcast. After the overwhelming success of episode 1, just at exactly 30 views. We're not monetized yet, but I see it coming. We're going to do another episode. Today we have a special guest, Devin, all the way from sunny Florida, a fantasy football vet, and my first time talking to Devin in person. So this will be exciting. It'll bring family together. We have my father-in-law, greatest guy I know. We're going to play a game with him called Would You Rather? And then we'll get Uncle Mike back on the phone for That's Bullshit. So stick around, and we'll be right back. All right, so I first wanted to take us around the league for a recap of Week 1. It was a bloodbath out there. So first of all, we have to acknowledge Mike Pisano, shitters full. He had the top scoring team this week with 155.66 points. Next up is the Gabagools with a strong showing. Trevor Lawrence at QB with 132.84. I'm not sure what happened to Uncle Mike, the bullshit team. Drastically underperformed. So we'll have to touch base with him, see what he thinks of bullshit. We'll run down the list right now. Devin and I matched up pretty evenly up until the very last part of the game where Breece Hall ripped off an 80-yard scamper, and I came away with the win. Luckily, the Gabagools beat out the G-Men 132-102. The Gabones and strong showing 115, but couldn't outlast Mike Pisano with that Tyreek Hill huge game, over 50 points, I think. Nichols' neat team against the AR8. A is for Aaron Rodgers and the Achilles. Yeah, I get it. That's great. Love the name. I think that's Zach. Yeah, that's Zach. So that was a real close matchup with Nickel. 127-115 in the favor of Nickel. And like I mentioned before, probably the featured bout of the weekend, Pax Mafia destroyed the bullshit team. Despite all the emotional ups and downs of that Bills-Jets game, Aunt Jackie pulled ahead with the enthusiastic and resounding victory. So good job, Aunt Jackie. And we'll be back with talking to Devin. Okay, as promised, in the studio, I have Devin here. Devin, it's so good to finally talk to you in person, for real.
Oh, yeah. It's been a while, so I'm glad to finally do this.
Yeah, and I feel like kind of a jerk. This is our first in-person conversation, but that's the beauty of fantasy football. It brings families together. So I want to welcome you to the second tier of the Valenti Outlaw crew. We are a small but mighty bunch. And congratulations on the nuptials, and how's everything going down there?
It's going really well. We're in the new house now, so it's been good so far. We're basically have a project every weekend, but then other than that, it's been good. We like the new area, awesome. and being married now. It's not too different, but it's good.
You and Olivia have been together a long time, I think, right?
Yes. Coming up on 12 years in October.
Oh my gosh, 12 years. That's crazy. Yeah, so that's Christine and I have been together, I think it's now, like 18 years. So it goes fast. It goes, yep. It's a long time, but I'm happy that you're participating in the league. I think it's fun. We're all together. And I have a big question first. I have actually two big questions. So first of all, how were the chicken thighs?
They were actually incredible, very juicy.
Okay.
Probably could have made a couple more sides to go with it, but other than that, they're very good. Mac and cheese.
Was it just for you and Olivia, or what was the? Yeah,
it was. We just wanted to cook. I wanted to smoke something on first NFL Sunday, so
that's awesome.
Chicken thighs.
No, that's a great move, and it looked like you had mac and cheese, some string beans. It looked like a really good good feast there.
Oh yeah, very good. We're still eating some of it. So
Good. What kind of smoker is that? Is that a Traeger?
yes, it's Traeger.
Nice.
Yep. Oh,
Nothing
yeah.
more American than the first football Sunday smoking some chicken thighs.
Exactly. I would highly recommend a Traeger if you don't have one.
I don't. I have no cool toys outside in the backyard right now. So I think that needs to be. I was looking at the Blackstone or something like that. But yeah, maybe a Traeger. I got no time. Smoking stuff it takes so long now.
It does.
But I wish you luck with the Traeger. That's awesome, man. And my second question, kind of a bigger question, maybe more of a criticism. What's with the Patriot stuff? Walk me through that.
Well, I guess long story short, my dad grew up right outside of Boston.
Oh, whereabouts?
It starts with a C, maybe.
Like Charleston or?
No, I think I don't know.
But outside of Boston.
You should have gave me a list of the questions before.
I should. We'll put it in the chat later on.
Yeah, I will. So yeah, he grew up out there. Lived there until he was 8.
Okay.
And then they moved back down this way. My grandfather, he's actually from this area, but he was up there with military, and then with Coast Guard, and met my Nana, who's from up there. And his side didn't really, I mean, they enjoyed sports, but they weren't big professional sports of any kind. My Nana's side was. My papa just kind of adopted all that, and my dad picked up those teams and gave them to me. So
are your affiliations down the line? Red Sox, Patriots, Bruins, like that whole deal?
Well, it's Red Sox, Patriots, Celtics, and if I am watching hockey, cheering for a team, it would be the Bruins.
It would be the Bruins. Okay. So I was born in upstate New York, but I grew up my formative years from the time I was 2 till I was about 13. I grew up in Massachusetts, and I was always a Jets fan, a Yankee fan. I just was totally razzed my entire upbringing. But look where I am today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's very interesting. I have a burning, more like a hatred for Tom Brady. But I actually respect the roots. It was pre-Tom Brady. The roots started there, so I totally respect that.
Right.
So I was a little taken aback by the jersey, and I think you're wearing a New England shirt now, if I'm not mistaken. There it is. I saw it. I knew it. Oh, damn it. Well, that's okay. We still love you, Devin.
Thank you. I appreciate it. They actually did not let me down. They played a lot better than I was expecting. I think the offense actually has a little something. I was a little bit surprised that Kendrick Bourne was more the go-to guy rather than Juju, but hey, I'll take it. Anything that makes that offense tick a little better, because the defense is already pretty good.
And I thought Mac Jones was injured a lot last year, so this could be a really bounce back year for him. And Belichick, obviously the evil genius, always lurking in the corner with his hood. He had some kind of towel on him. But yeah, they kept that game really close. So, all right. And that kind of bridges me to my next question. So our league is made up of pretty much split down the middle, newbies and veteran fantasy football players. What is your history with fantasy football? When did you start?
Well, I wish after my performance on Sunday I could tell you that this was my first year, but not the case, unfortunately. It seems like it always happens that way.
Week 1 is crazy.
Yes, it is. So I've been playing, honestly, I started in my junior year of high school. I played a league that year, and then it was just me and a few friends, and we played the next year. We went to college, went our separate ways. I met some guys my second year in college that were into it, played with them a couple of years. And then really when I got to University of Georgia, so probably 8 years ago at this point, or goodness. Anyways, yeah, probably 8 years ago, I met one of my good buddies that we're still in a league together. We do a redraft in person every year.
Okay.
So we go up to, it's a lake called Lake Sinclair in Georgia, and all 12 of us, hopefully there's 12. So usually there's only 11 or 10 can make it, but we'll all get together Friday night, drink and draft, and then talk about it Saturday and go out on the boat, do stuff like that. And other than that, I'm in a couple of dynasty leagues and very
Wow.
excited for this league. So
you have a rich history with this.
Yeah, clearly it's not helping, but
we'll again, week one is crazy, and I think you have the 1-2 combo of Bijan and Jahmyr Gibbs. I think.
Yes.
And that is a combo that I actually drafted in a couple of my other leagues. I was really focused on those two. I love rookie running backs.
Mm-hmm.
I love the explosiveness in a PPR league of the guy like Jahmyr Gibbs. I think he's going to be awesome. So I think that's a plug and play. Keep him going. But I love that you guys do a redraft in-person league with your friends. I think that tradition's got to stay. I know the wives and girlfriends, they don't always like the and that's going to be another segment in a couple of weeks. I'm going to do a Wags of Fantasy Football, Wives and Girlfriends of Fantasy Football. So I have a few guests in mind. But I think the camaraderie and the fun that comes out of an in-person league, you got to always do that if you can. That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you have any guys like going back into your fantasy football history that like were your guys like that you always wanted to target, early on? Who's your guy?
My guy. So when I started, I always tried to get Tom Brady.
Tom Brady, I knew
every year that I could. I was always a draft QB late guy.
Yeah,
that's kind of how I started and how I've stuck. The only reason that's really changed is Superflex leagues I play in, and now all these other guys, they get like Mahomes, Allen, Hurts are all getting drafted in second and third round, so it almost pushes all of them up. I think in our draft, I took Burrow in the 7th round. I'm a little shocked that he went that far, but I was happy to take him when I did.
Yeah, good value on him.
So, I would say Tom Brady, if I could get a back like, a couple of years I went with Shady.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah, Megatron when he played, but unfortunately I only got a couple of, I think 2 seasons where I had him. But then other than that, it's been kind of here and there, some misses, some not. A few years in a row was lucky enough to have Kelsey, and 2 of the 3 years I had Kelsey, I had Mahomes as well. So
you had that stack.
Yes.
Nice.
I always try to get the stack if I can.
Yep.
It didn't work out in this league, but if not, oh well.
This draft was absolutely insane. I was also trying to get a stack going, and I think the best I can do, I don't know if I even have Mark Andrews. I thought I was going to do a Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews stack. I have Mark. I ended up getting Kelsey, actually. Yeah, so my strategy was to go in and get Kelsey and do the Mahomes thing, but Mahomes was gone in the 2nd round, so totally unpredictable drafting, and you never know what you're going to get.
That is very true. I was shocked with some of the picks in good and bad ways. It was very fun, though. Exciting draft.
Yeah, it was. So next week, your matchup is against, let's see. Do you have an idea? Let me see.
It looks like Nickel.
What do you have to say to Nickel as we close out tonight?
I'm sorry my guys have to go up against you after a down week. They're probably going to stomp you. I hate to say it, but it's their bounce back week. So sorry, it has to be you, Nickel.
It's got to be someone. You're going to have a good talking with those guys in the locker room. Make sure they're all pumped up for next week.
We Devin, have some bulletin board material, so we're all good there.
Devin, this is awesome talking to you, man. We'll talk again later in the season, but it was really, I'm so glad that you came on, and we'll talk to you soon. Good luck, my man.
Awesome. That sounds good. And I do want to say one more thing. I am very sorry about Aaron Rodgers. That sucks.
Hopefully
it gets better.
Yeah, that was I had a lot of time to think about it since last night. It was the best, worst game I've ever seen in my life. It took me on a journey that the highest of highs, the lowest of lows, like I said. I don't know what we're going to do, and Zach Wilson scares the crap out of me. Yep. That guy is erratic as hell. So, we'll see how this goes, but I appreciate the sentiments. I'm going to need all the goodwill to make it through the season.
Oh, yeah. No worries. And I appreciate you having me on. I'm excited to come on again anytime.
You got it, brother. Have a good one. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Joe.
All right, that was Devin. Okay, we're back. We're going to play a game called Would You Rather. And my guest at this time, there he is, the G-Man, the best guy I know, my father-in-law, my paisan in fantasy football.
Hey.
We go everywhere together.
Every league, absolutely.
Every league. How many people can say that? That's
Not
pretty
too
cool.
many. Yep.
So we've been in our home league for this is our 12th season in that home league, and then we've had some other leagues start up. Those leagues have been going on 8-9 years too. So we have a rich history.
Yeah, we even did an auction league last year in this very room. We did our auction.
That's right.
A lot of fun.
A lot of fun. That took 4 or 5 hours. That was brutal.
Yeah, and during that time, I actually had COVID. I didn't know it. I tested positive the next day. Joe sat right here, next to me, for 4 hours in this little 10x10 room, and the bull,
no
just
COVID. No COVID.
No COVID. Yep, that happened.
That happened. So I'm not going to bring up any of the week 1 issues, gabagools. I'm not going to bring up any of that.
Hey, I went to Uncle Giuseppe's today, and bad enough I lost to North Carolina Gabagool. Great team, well managed. Everywhere I looked, there was Gabagool. It was haunting.
It was gabagool everywhere, coming out of the woodwork.
Exactly.
All right. So I came up with this game. It's called Would You Rather, and it's all fantasy football related. So I have 3 questions for you, 3 scenarios.
Okay.
And this is going to really test your mettle and see where your leanings lie with fantasy football. Really getting to the meat and potatoes. So
okay.
I'm trying to be armchair psychology with these games. Okay.
All
right. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to start with a really hard one first. This is tough. Okay. Would you rather never play fantasy football ever again, but you would be guaranteed to see the Giants win one more Super Bowl in your lifetime, or continue to play each year, but be guaranteed that they'd never win it again?
Oh, wow. Well, given that I've had the pleasure of winning 4 Super Bowls, and I know what that's like, I would have to say, and especially the fact that I enjoyed the last 2 against New England so much burn exactly. We took you got to put the GOAT in his place. I think I would have to not play fantasy football and take my chances on seeing the Giants win a Super Bowl. Yeah.
Nice. I thought that's the way you would go. It's again, it's uniting families, this game,
right.
It's almost bigger than the Giants, but you had, I think had you not had the 2007 and 11, might be a different thing.
Well, I'm talking to Aunt Jackie too, because I had the 1990 against Buffalo. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of fun to win them. Trust me, for those of you who haven't.
Not in my lifetime. Okay.
Joe, the first game I ever watched, I don't mean to drag this out, but the first game I ever watched in my life, the first football game, 1969 Super Bowl. Super Bowl 3. The last time the Jets won a Super Bowl.
Let me ask you something. This is off topic, I guess, but I was thinking last night, something had to have happened the day before that game where Joe Namath, I think he sold his soul to the devil to win the game and to curse the Jets forever. Do you think that that's true at all? Or am I just bullshitting?
No, I would say that if you knew Joe Namath back then, he was very controversial. He could have done that because he did guarantee that win. Just historically, it guaranteed that win. And how could you unless you have supernatural backing?
And he looked really good in the
pantyhose.
Very good.
In the what?
In the pantyhose, right?
Oh, right, he did. For those of you who don't know what that is, he was very, very controversial. He did the first man in pantyhose commercial. I don't know how many more there have been since then, but he did the first one.
I think, let's see if I can pull that up here. Let me see. Just for those viewing at home, we're going to, there he is. Look at Joe Namath in the pantyhose. I don't know if you can see it.
I'm telling you. When I saw that, I needed some alone time.
I gotta get this off the screen.
Sorry, hey, Joe, let's hurry this up.
Okay, number two.
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is kind of a complex one. Okay. Would you rather have the first waiver priority each week, but you always had to start Allen Robinson in your wide receiver 1 position?
Oh, God.
Always. Or would you rather have the 10th waiver spot each week, but you could execute 2 trades of your choice, any trade you wanted, before the week 1 of the season?
Wow. Oh, before the season began. Okay, so I had the pleasure also of having Allen Robinson in his breakout year with Blake Bortles, and very proud. I got a lot of props for calling it, and I got it. All right, Allen Robinson. Since then, I would prefer to have it. I would not want the first pick if I had to have him on my team at all. I would prefer to have the 10th pick. And the first trade I would make in the preseason was, if I had drafted him, trading him away. That's right. It. No Allen Robinson for me.
Okay, so you would choose the trades over the waiver priority 1 every week.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. I'm in lockstep with you on that too.
It's Allen Robinson related. Otherwise, I might have gone a different direction.
That's why I chose him. I chose Allen Robinson.
You know who he is to me.
Many don't know this. G's his first year ever playing fantasy football had I think the greatest pull in our league history with Jimmy Graham. G picked Jimmy Graham, drafted this guy no one ever heard of, Jimmy Graham, in that breakout Saints season.
Yeah.
And you won. I think that was the season. That was the league.
Yeah.
You won, right?
Yeah. That was
out of nowhere.
That was the day I picked. Yes, that's true. And on top of that, it was kind of funny that day. That first draft, we were in your apartment in Avalon. Remember?
Yep.
And with all your friends too. And I just picked Peyton Manning, and then we looked at the TV. And it was a caller, and it says Peyton Manning has neck injury, will not play this season.
Out for the season,
right?
So I had to
pivot. What's that?
Aaron Rodgers. Yeah,
that's right. Except it was fake, so it wasn't as harsh. So I pivoted to Matthew Stafford, and he was a big part of that too.
That's true. Yeah, that's right. That was a.
I remember that.
Year.
Yep.
All right. So this is the last one.
Yes,
this
sir.
This one is so again. Okay. Would you rather get the number 1 pick each year for the rest of the time you play fantasy football, but you can only draft handcuffed Uncle John's toilet after he eats a crave case? So we get the number 1 pick every year, but Uncle John just ate a crave case and you're handcuffed to his toilet. Or would you rather get the 10th pick each year, but you get to draft at Uncle Giuseppe's with $100 bill every single year that you could go and do whatever you want?
Oh, I'd have to say the first.
That's dedication.
I'm very close to Uncle John. I like to spend any quality time with him that I can.
And again, that's the theme I think of this week is family, bring family together.
Bring family together. Yes. The other one sounds appealing, but Italian food, Uncle Giuseppe's.
You'd rather see the output than the I get it.
I like quality time. But thanks for asking. And thanks for that visual. That's what you got to leave me with all night.
It's a musk. This has been awesome. Thank you so much. And,
yes, thank you.
We'll have you on again for more in-depth analysis of your fantasy football history and your fandom, and coming up in a few weeks.
Yes, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, G.
All right.
All right. Well, everyone, unfortunately, Uncle Mike was unavailable for this week's That's Bullshit. We were going to talk about a few things, including Aaron Rodgers' contract. He actually is a $75 million contract, and he was on the field for 75 seconds. So I'm going to say that Uncle Mike was going to say that was bullshit. The other thing I was going to bring up to Uncle Mike was the Kansas City Chiefs unveiled their brand new Super Bowl rings. And I was going to show him the Super Bowl ring specs, 609 diamonds, in total 16.10 carats, estimated cost per ring $12,500. So every and that's just for a replica that any Joe Schmo in the street can buy from Kansas City. $12,500. I want to say that's bullshit too. But if the Jets win the Super Bowl, you never know. So I was going to bring that up, and finally, I was going to recant my claims that Uncle Mike's running back room was bullshit. It actually was his receiving core this past week. So I am against Uncle Mike and his bullshit team this week. So I'm kind of thinking that maybe he didn't come on today because he's a little bit scared. But that's for next week. We can unpack that. So Uncle Mike, if you're scared, Dad's bullshit. All right, everybody. See you next week. Bye-bye.